Hi, my name is Lily, and I'm going to walk you through how to file for an employment authorization document online with USCIS. To begin, you'll go to myuscis.gov and sign into your USCIS account or create an account if you don't have one already. In the description, we'll include a link to a video tutorial by USCIS detailing how to create an account. After logging in, you'll come to this home page that we see here on the screen. From this page, we'll click File a Form Online. So that's right here. Once we click File a Form Online, we'll get here where there's a drop-down menu of the different forms that you can file online. In this case, we're going to do Form I-765, Application for Employment Authorization. Once you click below, it'll show you the eligibility categories that are available for online filing. It's important to look through these and make sure you fit in one of these categories to be able to file online. We've created a chart that details the different categories and whether or not they're available online and when to file. We'll go over that now. Let's see. Okay, so the first category on this chart is A12, which is TPS, and this is for people who have been already granted TPS. So if you fit into the A12 category, you can file online right away. The next category is C8, which is for asylum seekers, both defensive and affirmative. And you have to wait 150 days after filing your Form I-589, but you can also apply online. So in this third line, there's C11, which is humanitarian parole. If you have humanitarian parole, you can apply for a work permit right away, but it's very important to note that your work permit will only be for the duration of your humanitarian parole. Usually once your parole expires, your work permit will not be eligible anymore either. So, but you can file online and you can file right away. This is the same for the following two lines of the chart. These are just specific humanitarian parole from specific countries, but it's the same process with the work permit. Here we have C19, which is TPS is pending. So once you filed for TPS, while you're waiting for your TPS, you can file for a work permit right away, and you can also file online. The final category on our chart is A5, which is asylees. So it's those who have been granted asylum. And you can apply for a work permit right away, but you cannot file online. It's also really important to note that if you need a fee waiver with your work permit application, you cannot file that online either. But if you're in the C8 category of defensive and affirmative asylum seekers, then your first work permit is free. So there's no charge for the first work permit, but if you're filing for a renewal or a second work permit, then they'll have that fee again. So once you've reviewed and make sure you fit into an eligibility category that's available for online filing, click Start Form. So here they give some further background on eligibility. Then they break down some of the categories and they go over the fee for this application. If you're an asylum seeker applying for the first time, you have no fee. This application is free. So it's important to also look over what documents you will need. You're going to need a copy of your Form I-94, which is your arrival and departure record. You're going to need a copy of your last EAD if you are applying for a renewal, and you'll need one passport style photograph, so a 2-inch by 2-inch photograph of yourself, approximately that size, with a white background. And here they detail that there may be a biometrics appointment, and that would come in the mail. And then below they're showing us the steps of the case after you submit, so you can track your case online. And if they ask for any additional information, you'll be able to respond, and then you'll receive a decision. So this is more information on filing online. It's similar to filing paper. And it tells you that you're going to start with the getting started section, answer as much as you can, and your responses will be saved for the next 30 days. So you can work on this application, leave it, and come back. so you can continue where you left off. Here, there's a privacy note. And once you've read the privacy note and Paper Reduction Act, you can begin filling out the form. Okay, so the first question in the Getting Started section is about eligibility categories again. And again, you can reference the diagram. Let's see, it shows all of the different categories that are available to file online here. So for this demonstration, we're going to show the asylum seeker category, which is C8. And here it's detailing that there's a 150-day waiting period after filing for asylum where you can apply for a work permit. So make sure that you've waited 150 days. Here it asks if you're from El Salvador or Guatemala for a different agreement. So if you're not, just click no and hit next. Okay, so here you're going to answer whether or not this is your first time applying, or it's a replacement or a renewal. And you will also answer whether or not you've previously filed Form I-765. Next, you will answer whether or not someone is assisting you with this application. So we're going to click no here and then click next. So then we enter the About You section. You can see over here that we've moved to a new subsection. So here it's asking your basic biographical information, mostly an immigration background. So they're going to ask your name and if you have any other name since birth. Once you've filled out this information, you can click next. And then they'll ask you about your contact information, your mailing address, and it will ask if your mailing address is the same as your physical address. Then you click next. You'll answer about your gender and your marital status in the Describe You section. Next, you will answer questions about when and where you were born, the city, town, state, country, and your date of birth. Next, you will answer information about your immigration status. Here you can add more than one country if you have citizenship to more than one country. And then here you'll put your I-94 arrival and departure record number. So this can be obtained if you don't have a copy of your I-94, you can obtain it on this website here. If you Google I-94, it'll take you to this U.S. Customs and Border Protection website. And on this website, so it's I-94, and we'll put the link to this website below as well. You will click get most recent I-94. And it will have some terms of service that you can look through, and then click acknowledge and agree. And then they will provide information. You'll provide your information in order to receive your I-94. So it will have your first name, your last name, your birthday, your passport number, and your citizenship. And once you have this information and you click next, it will give you an I-94 number and it will detail your arrival and departure. So once you have that document, save it as a PDF because you're going to attach it later. But it's important to know that you will get an I-94 number once you proceed in this part. And that I-94 number will be used right here in this section under immigration information. So once you've entered your I-94 number, enter the date that you last arrived into the United States. And this will also be on your I-94 that you just generated or already have. And your place of arrival and your status at arrival. Then you will include your passport number, which also is on your I-94, any travel document number you may have, expiration of your passport, and the country that issued your travel document or passport. Then to continue on, you'll enter your immigration status. So here, we're going to put, since we're saying that we're an asylum seeker for this demonstration, we're going to click 999, which is an alien awaiting decision of asylum. Below, they have an option for adding a student in exchange visitor information system number. So this is a number that you'll have if you're a student. Once you've entered this information, click next. And there will be other information, including your A number. And your A number can be found on any receipt notice. Most receipt notices you get from USCIS will show your A number. And it's possible that you could have a USCIS online account number, which is also found on the receipt, although these aren't given to everyone. So you will also include a social security card, or whether or not you have a social security card, and if you want one to be issued to you. And then they'll ask you if you've ever been arrested or convicted of a crime. Once you've answered this information, you can proceed on. So here you'll upload your 2x2 photo. And make sure you have a white background and you upload it, and be sure that it's not over 12 megabytes of space. For all these documents, it's really important to keep them small. So they may need to be a lower quality to keep them small. Just make sure that they're not over 12 megabytes or it won't submit. So next you'll upload your I-94, which is what we generated from the I-94 page on the Custom and Border website. So here, it's the same issue. You need to keep it under 12 megabytes, and the file needs to be JPEG, PDF, or TIFF. Next, you will upload your EAD, so your employment authorization document if you have a previous one, or a government ID. And it's the same directions here, with the file formats being JPEG, PDF, or TIFF, and the maximum file size being 12 megabytes. And make sure you include the front and back of an EAD, especially. Next, you will upload a copy of your I-589 application for asylum and withholding of removal. So since we clicked the asylum category, this is the form that they want us to upload. If you clicked TPS, they're going to want a copy of your application for TPS, and same with other categories. But in this case, we would upload our I-589. Let's see, and they have the same file requirements for all these documents, so follow the same instructions as before. So next, if you've had any further court action with your case, the Board of Immigration Appeals remand order is what this is called. It's a little bit complicated, but or sounds a little bit complicated, but this is if you've had anything has gone on in the courts with your case. Upload those documents here as well. So here is a place to put any additional information. So if you have any other documents to submit, add them here. And then on this final page, you're going to check your application over before you submit. So here, if you're an asylum seeker and you said it was initial, this won't come up here. This is only coming up because we didn't select anything in there. And then here below, they'll have alerts and warnings for any spaces you haven't filled out. So make sure you review your application through here. And then since we didn't fill anything out, we're not able to go on, but this is where you would go and submit. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for any more tutorials. Also, we're going to have a once a month work permit walkthrough, and that will link on Zoom, and that link will be on our website. Thank you.